Hey guys, so it's been a little bit over a week since the FNAF movie first premiered, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it. And since everyone's practically doing this, I might as well talk about it. And this video would obviously contain spoilers for the movie, if you haven't already guessed. So, what do I think about the FNAF movie? I think it was good. At least, I think it was pretty good. Then again, I am fairly easy to please. You could practically put anything in front of me and I'll watch it and I'll be like, it was alright. But from what I've seen, nobody can really agree if it was good, bad, or just okay. There seems to be like a three-way perspective on how people see it. Some think it was the best thing since sliced bread, some people think it's pretty much dog shit. And then there are people who are in the middle and it's like, it's okay. The movie did have the fans in mind when it was being created, but I can also see why people just absolutely hated it. And from what I have seen of the movie itself, it seems to be more of a thriller than a horror movie. And now, to be fair, FNAF was never really like... FNAF was supposed to be Scott's last game, and he didn't really have a story planned out. But this is apparently supposed to be like a retelling of the FNAF story. Or at least I think it is, I'm not too sure. It could be something completely different, a different universe. But then again, Scott does have like 7 to 8 games, including like the DLC of Ruin. So you think he'd have some kind of like storyline planned out somewhere? Then again, this is apparently supposed to be a trilogy, so maybe this is supposed to build everything up, kind of like Phase 1 and Phase 2 of Marvel. Okay, so now that we have gotten that out of the way, I actually kind of want to talk about what I genuinely think of the FNAF movie. Like I have said, I think the movie is pretty good. However, I feel like there are some changes in there that I kinda would have made, except the casting. The casting was pretty damn good, and Shaggy as Purple Guy was just great. We all love Shaggy, like, come on now. And the cameos were just nice. They were fairly nice. Although Matt Pat did get us in the first half, not gonna lie. And interestingly enough, Mark was supposed to be the night guard that dies, but scheduling issues kind of complicated things with his movie Iron Lung, so he couldn't really make it. Can I just also say, the intro song was just amazing. Like, it's just a banger. Oh yeah, apparently, fun fact, if you cut Matt Pat's name tag in the movie, it says Ness. And now that wasn't Scott trying to like troll people with continuously using the same name like Jeremy. That was supposed to be a reference to Sans is Ness. And apparently Scott was very proud of himself with that, and honestly, if I did the same thing, I too would be very proud of myself. And to be fair to the people who dislike the movie, if you don't know anything about FNAF, if you don't know anything about like the cameos or like the FNAF theories or like anything about FNAF, like I said, I understand you could just go into this movie like just sitting down or standing up because all the seats were filled. I can understand you like questioning what the hell did I just watch, very especially with the cameos. I could just imagine you sitting down or having to stand on like the stairs and just hearing people screaming at like Matt, Pat, or Corey, and you just sit like being right there asking and just questioning, what I miss? Did I miss anything? Why is everyone screaming like they're fangirls of Justin Bieber when he's walking downtown? Now that I have finally gotten all that out of the way, I will actually now discuss on what I think could have been made better of the FNAF movie. And the only thing I would change are like very nitpicky things about it. Let's start off with one of the most iconic lines in the FNAF world. When William said, "I always come back," I wished it was a little bit different. And what I mean by that is like how it was delivered. I didn't mean like him saying it to be like a little bit different. And this goes for William Afton's death in this, or should I say Shaggy's death in this. And this is because I wanted one of the animatronics to actually put Spring Bonnie's head on William's head. And then when he gets like dragged and pulled into the kitchen, him twitching and dying. And when Freddy's soul just leaves him to die in the kitchen, and William, still stuck in the spring Bonnie suit, is just twitching while dying. The screen hits black. He says, "I always come back." I think that would have been a more effective way of using that line. And now let's talk about the retcons, or apparent retcons, because Michael Afton isn't in this. He's apparently now Mike Schmidt. Now, I don't know about you, but that just feels like a giant retcon in the FNAF storyline. And now, like I've said, this is apparently a retelling of the story, so maybe this is what Scott was originally intending of the FNAF storyline, instead of just making it up as he created the games. Because I'm pretty sure Mike Schmidt is the dude who worked in FNAF 2, or in FNAF 1. I can't remember. And I'm like a pretty big fan of FNAF. I've seen all the theories, I've seen Markiplier's gameplay of this, but I guess I forgot, so yeah. However, I do have a theory on how Mike Schmidt could be tied into all of this. A game theory. Wait, no, this isn't a game. This is a film. A film theory. So my theory is that Mike Schmidt is Henry's son. Now, to be fair, that is a giant leap in logic. Don't get me wrong, that is a huge leap in logic, having William's son become Henry's son. But remember, Michael Afton isn't in this, so that leaves Henry, but then Henry is Henry Emily. But they retconned Michael Afton into Mike Schmidt, so they could possibly retcon Henry's last name into Schmidt if they really wanted to, because they've already like changed Michael Afton into Mike Schmidt. I'm pretty sure changing a last name would be as easy as flicking your wrist. Now, obviously, I do have some reasons on why I think that. First of all, it gives Henry a way to get involved into the storyline. Now, I know it's like implied that Mike Schmidt's father like took his own life because his wife died. The movie just kind of like just leaves at that. He couldn't handle it anymore. That could mean a bunch of different things. That could mean he left. That could mean he just decided to not live anymore. There is no concrete evidence of Mike's father just dying outright just because his wife died. And concerning everything with FNAF, like fucking robo children, I kid you not, I feel like Henry is going to take the approach he took in the books, in which where Charlie died when she was just 3 years old via William, he decided to create her as a robot. So what if Henry decided, because his wife died somehow, he was depressed and he left his family to try to rebuild his wife. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but we have fucking Ballora, which is supposed to be William's like idea of his wife. And Mike being Henry's son is a good way to like give a reason on why William's specifically attacking his family and him overall. It would give a good reason why Raglan gave Mike the night guard job in the first place, so that William can just go in and get him killed right there and then. No issues, no qualms, just let the fucking children animatronics just kill him. And speaking of the animatronics, I'm pretty sure some people were like very questioned on why they were acting the way they acted. Like, I know they're supposed to be these very gentle giants who don't know what the hell is happening, but in the games they know who the hell actually killed them, William Afton, which is why he gets spring locked in the first place. And yes, I know this movie is supposed to be a thriller, but I actually wanted to see some kind of horror. Just like You know, like when Abby, like, just scribbled Mike's face all over her drawings, you knew the split second Mike walked into work, he was going to have to get into his office faster than somebody's dad going to get milk. Or he was just going to get his shit kicked in, like, the split second he walked in. Like, give me something to be scared about for the main characters, instead of just, like, the bad guys just going in and just dying outright. Or just the the dudes that broke in and decided to fuck up the place and then just died. Also, I feel like the girl that babysitted Abby that we get introduced to, I feel like she had a lot of potential in the movie. But that's just my thoughts on the character. Also, interestingly enough, they retconned Vanny into being William's daughter, which, like, yeah, okay, that ties her to William, but she was originally the reluctant follower who turns into Vanny. So I don't know if that will, like, still continue to happen, like Vanessa turning into Vanny and her following William Afton. That doesn't seem to be the case since she quite literally fucking shot him. And yes, I'm going to skip this intermission, fucking cry about it. The way we get introduced into the spring locks are like, okay, these are very dangerous. If you even breathe on them, they will just fucking kill you outright. But then we see William in Spring Bonnie's suit fucking punching Michael, and that doesn't trigger the spring locks, like, slightly. Like, one doesn't even come loose. They're all just perfectly there. Now, you could make the argument, well, William, he knows how deadly the spring locks are. He probably took some pretty damn good precautions. And I would just say, yeah, fair argument. I have no qualms there. And now I want to go back to Mike Schmidt's family. And the reason why is because I want to talk about why his brother for some reason got stolen in the first place and what he could potentially become. So Golden Freddy is already possessed by someone. Now, Golden Freddy in the games is possessed by two spirits, so you could say, well, his brother might still be like Golden Freddy, like all the theories before the movie came out that we have seen of his brother. But I personally do not believe that. I think his brother will become the puppet. And the reason why I think that is because, one, the puppet is a giant thing in FNAF. Like, it is one of the biggest things in FNAF. And if my theory of Mike Schmidt being Henry's son is right, then Charlie might have been the boy who has been kidnapped by William. That could also be a reason why Henry or Mike's father has left, because his wife died, his son has been kidnapped, and he's just trying to bring the family back, albeit a little bit differently. And like I have said, in the books, Henry created a robot version of Charlie. And let's not forget to mention that this is Scott writing the story. He has created like 8 games with DLCs, like fucking, like, I don't know, like 20 books, and the Fourth Closet being part of that, like 20-ish books. So he might get some ideas from what he has already created and just jumble them all into one. Because like I have said, there is the FNAF 1 setting, Springtrap's death in FNAF 3, and Vanessa is here. Not to mention, Golden Freddy is in his FNAF 2 form, so FNAF 2 is also here. And now that just leaves me with what I think could okay, then I just accidentally hit my microphone. But like I was going to say, that kinda just leaves me with what I think could happen in the future story of the FNAF movie. Because this is a thriller. And the fact that thrillers more focus on story than scares kind of says something. But that's besides the point. Anyways, I'm going to talk about what I think could potentially happen. Because they have to squeeze FNAF 3, Sister Location, and Pizzeria Simulator into 2 movies. So now, what I think is going to happen. I think Abby will be the main character in the 2 movies. And the reason why is because Springtrap gets locked away for 30 damn years. Mike seems to be in his early 20s. I'm pretty sure 50-year-old Mike Schmidt isn't going to do shit to Springtrap when his hip is constantly dislocating and his back pain is starting to just come in at like 4 a.m. Now, a very easy way they can have Mike Schmidt still be the character that we follow is by having the second movie start with Sister Location. And then, after that, they could have the second half deal with Fazbear's Fright. So we still have Mike Schmidt as a character that we follow. Because in Sister Location, Michael Afton gets his innards scooped. He now becomes a fucking rotting alive corpse. And that could be the movie's justification of it saying, hey, we're still following Mike Schmidt because Remnant. And then you can have the third movie as just full-blown Pizzeria Simulator. And then in the end credits, William Afton gets sent into Ultimate Custom Night. Unless Scott just decides to throw everything out the window and just start with an entirely new story, which is still fair. I'm not gonna get pissed over it because, it's different. It's not like the games. If Scott wants to do that, then he can. It's his own work of media. I'm not gonna act like a fucking relative just died right in front of my eyes just because Scott wanted to do a different story for the movies. But that's besides the point. Let's actually get back to me discussing what I think could potentially happen later on in the story. Because we still have Vanessa and what the fuck is the story gonna do with her? Maybe she becomes Vanny, maybe she doesn't. I don't know what the hell could happen. Maybe she'll be the one to go into Sister Location. Maybe she'll be the one working Fazbear's Fright to light Springtrap on fire. Who the hell knows? Vanessa is really up in the air because at the end of the movie, she's in the hospital recovering from the stab wound that William Afton gave her after she shot him, so yeah. And can I just say, William Afton did not let that slide. The fact that she was supposed to keep Mike Schmidt in the dark and get him killed, it was apparently supposed to be one job, but she said it was 2 jobs. Kinda like what Mike said with the Regal when he said, it's only 1 job, you just have to watch the place and make sure people don't get in. And then Mike said, that's not 1, that's 2 jobs. This also leads me into the question of what the hell do we do with the animatronics now? Because they are still there. The children are still trapped inside of the animatronics. Their souls have not been set free. The only thing they have accomplished is killing William Afton. There's nothing else to do with the animatronics. Maybe they decide to rest. Maybe they decide, fuck it, we're staying because we just want to see William Afton suffer. Anyways, I've been rambling on for like fucking 20 minutes now, and I feel like this is a good place to end the video. There are still things I am questioning with the movie. I still have theories and ideas on what could potentially happen. Like, Abby might be the one who's going to get scooped because we see like a clown thingy and Chico was trying to put her in it. So that might be foreshadowing of her getting scooped because she was in Sister Location. And yeah, no, just no, we're not gonna watch this. Mainly because I decided to not record the audio and just just know. Anyways, if you've liked me discussing about the FNAF movie in general and what could potentially happen in the future, then thank you for watching, and please like and sub. It helps support the channel, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!